Good evening, and welcome to another installment of Diaspora News, where news is local on a global scale. Tonight's installment is regarding a gentleman named George Washington, but it's not the typical George Washington you may think of, the dude we all learned about in history with the bad powdered wig and them tights he used to wear all the time, or, they called them knickers. Not the same George Washington, it's a totally different dude. But anyway. The name George Washington for most people brings to mind a presidential figure, but in Centralia, Washington state, that name belongs to their founding father. This George Washington was an African American born in Frederick County, Virginia on August 15, 1817, to a slave father and mother of English descent, and would later found the city of Centralia. After his father was sold to a new owner, his mother gave him to a white family, James and Anna Cochran, to escape a life of slavery in Virginia. Here's a picture of Mr. Washington here. Definitely not the dude in the white powdered wig. The white family took him along on their journeys to Ohio and Missouri. As a hardworking and literate person, Washington tried to set up businesses in Missouri, but could not do so because of the discrimination he faced. His adoptive parents even filed a special motion to get him full rights as a citizen, but that didn't do much to curtail the racism he underwent. He and his adoptive family subsequently moved west in 1850 toward the Oregon Territory to enable Washington to establish himself fully. They first settled at Oregon City before crossing the Columbia River to what would later become Washington State Territory. In 1852, Washington staked a claim on a plot of land near the Chehalis River in what was then Oregon Territory. He cleared the land and began to farm there, but since Oregon laws did not allow black people to own the land, Washington had the Cochrans claim the 640 acres. I was thinking the same thing because I know I read or heard somewhere that for a period in time, Oregon did not allow blacks to live in that state. So I'm not sure if this was, okay, I guess it had to be after that law. But yeah, I know blacks were not allowed in the state. They had, and they had not only could they not own land, but they were not allowed in the state. And the article does not refer to this, just said they weren't allowed to own land. So yeah, they had like, I don't know, a month or so to get out, if they were in Oregon. So yeah, they had to go. They sold the land back to him after 4 years when Washington Territory was created. When he was in his 50s, Washington married widow Mary Jane Kunis, and in 1872, he and his wife decided that their land would be a significant link between the towns of Tacoma and Kalama. They then began plans of creating the city of Centerville, which would later be changed to Centralia. On January 8, 1875, the Washingtons filed their plat for the town and offered lots at $10 apiece for anyone who wanted. Man, I wish I could buy a plot of land for $10 apiece. Wow. Isn't that something? Here's a picture of the Northern Pacific Railroad depot in Centralia. So by 1872, Centralia was an important stop along the railroad as it became a boomtown for transporting locally produced timber, coal, and dairy products to the rest of the world. That must have been pretty lucrative up there. A lot of trees and so forth up there. As the town grew, settlers grew dissatisfied with the name because another town in the state shared the same name. The name was changed to Centralia in 1883, officially becoming incorporated in 1886, a historical account on News One stated. There's also a Centralia in Pennsylvania, where I'm from. I think that's the town that had the underground fires going for years. I think they're coal fires, so they're never able to put the fire out, if I'm mistaken. I'm not sure if that thing is still burning today or what, but that's how I remember that town, because it was underground fire. It is documented, in 1888, Washington's wife passed away, but he still went ahead to play a significant role in developing the town. It is documented that he did not only allow people to settle in the town without paying a dime, but would also assist them with food and jobs as well. That's pretty cool. You won't see anything like that today. The land comes at a premium on all fronts. Even when residents could not afford their mortgage, Washington would buy the properties back and keep the city afloat, according to accounts. When he passed away in August 1905 at age 88, his funeral was said to be the largest in the history of Centralia. Today, Centralia thrives, and a memorial park bearing his name serves as the city's center. Signs of Washington's legacy are visible as you walk through downtown Centralia. Around the corner from a park is a two-story mural of George and his dog, Rockwood. A metal fence surrounds two large gravestones at Washington Lawn Cemetery, one for George and his wife, the other for the Cochran family who raised George. So there's a picture of that mural there of George and his dog. What's his dog's name? Rockwood. Okay, Rockwood. So there's old George. So there you have the story of the other George Washington that we find in history. And I've never heard of this guy before, but yeah, apparently there's two George Washingtons. So in closing, I'd like to thank you for sharing your time with me. Please be sure to click like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next story. Peace, family.